Hey everybody, so thanks for watching. If you're watching this video, you have probably come to it via a link or searched up the topic, and that topic is sort of dieting and healthy eating and the difference between the two. So yeah, in this video I just sort of wanted to share a bit about my story with weight loss and dieting and where I'm at now with it, and the sort of daily aims that I have with my diet and the way I eat. So yeah. So first of all, I suppose my story started a good few years ago now. I put on quite a lot of weight. This was before I had my children, with my ex-boyfriend. So I put on quite a lot of weight. We enjoyed a lot of takeaways, a lot of fancy food, and the weight slowly crept on. So to shift that weight, I decided to join a weight loss group, and that weight loss group was Rosemary Connolly, and I actually lost around 2 stone. So I went from around 11.5 stone was my top weight, and I got down to 9.5 stone, and that was through sort of following her programme, which is aimed at a low-fat diet and regular exercise. So that was how I sort of got back down to 9.5 stone, and that sort of weight is my average sort of weight. So between 9 stone and 9.5 stone is really comfortable for me. So yeah, that was sort of where my dieting journey began. Now that was really great for me. I really think that joining a class, if you're quite overweight and you need some guidance, is a really great thing to do. The only thing I would say is that I know some of the classes and some of the groups out there, they don't actually include exercise into their programme, so it's solely related around diet, and I think that exercise is such a huge part of the puzzle that it's really important that if you are joining one of these clubs, and you are sort of cleaning up your diet a bit and losing some weight, that exercise is a really important part of that. And the main sort of downside that I found to joining a club, and what I have really had to sort of take myself back from and retrain myself in, is the unhealthy part of weighing yourself every single week and guiding your process along that, because that really sort of became a precedent for what I did in my life, and I actually became a little bit obsessed with the weight of myself and how much weight I had lost or gained. And it was only after a few years of doing that regularly that I really realised how much that was really affecting me and how much power it had over me. So I could stand on a scale, and if that scale had gone down, I would be really happy, and I'd have the best day ever. Whereas if it had gone up, even if I'd had a really good week, if I'd worked out, if I'd eaten really well, but for some reason that scale had gone up, which there are many reasons for, then it could ruin my day, it could ruin my week, it could really put me on a downward spiral. So that's my main sort of process of learning through that kind of club, that kind of way of losing weight. So I think it can be really beneficial for people, but I also think that you should be very careful of how the weighing yourself every week, and actually people do tend to do it a lot more often when they're relying on that for their sort of progress, how much that can affect your well-being. So yeah, that really, the other thing about the clubs that I found now and have learned years on is that they very much promote low fat, and that's really great, but actually some of the alternatives to low fat foods are actually a lot worse for your health. So although you are following a low fat, and that always sounds really good because we've been told that fat is a bad thing, actually through my years of learning, researching and getting really into nutrition and fitness, I have learned so much more about fat, so much more about why we need fat and why we need good fat. So I think they're very limited because they want you to stay losing weight to show that their program works. They put you on low fat things, and actually they may not be the most healthy things for you. So yeah, there's my sort of roundup of the clubs and how my diet journey started. So yeah, from there I sort of went, I got really into health and fitness over the next coming years, especially with after having my firstborn, my son Elijah. I was carrying a little bit of extra weight. I didn't put on much, but I was carrying a little bit of extra weight. I wanted to get rid of it. So this time around, I really felt like I'd learned a bit more about nutrition through lifestyle, through friends that I'd met that had really great advice. And I, yes, very much focused on exercise and eating healthily. And I suppose over the years, what I've come to realise, and now that I'm really passionate about it, is that there are so many clubs and diets and fads and rules and everything out there that it's totally overwhelming, and even for myself I can get overwhelmed by it. And my sort of learning through that, sorry I'm stumbling a bit, trying to get my words out, my learning through that, through the process of sort of trying to follow certain diets, specific things I eat and don't eat, I sort of came to an all-round conclusion that I was just going to really educate myself on health. And because of the kind of person I am, I have tried lots of different things. So I am a vegetarian, but I do now eat fish. I spent a couple of years not even eating fish, and now I've gone back to eating fish. I do eat dairy products, but I don't eat that many of them. I do eat fat, I eat plenty of fat, but I'm very careful around the kind of fats that I eat. So I think it's so easy for all these fads, all these ideas to really push that you stick to their one lifestyle. But I have found through trying all of them that actually all it did was make me stressed around food. All it did was make me worry that I wasn't eating the right thing, that I was eating too little, that I was eating too much, especially when I started getting the gym involved, and that talks about feeding the body so you can get in a good workout and repairing the muscles. And now what I find and what I'd really like to share with everybody is that I really try very, very hard to just not overthink it. So I have learned basic principles of nutrition, and I feel like I've educated myself on the pros and cons of a lot of foods, such as, you know, grains and wheat and dairy and all these things that a lot of these diets say that we shouldn't be having. And sort of come up with my own theories and my own ways of feeling comfortable with them and how I feel when I eat them. And actually I think that speaks volumes. Like, I've never been so comfortable around food, so comfortable to know when I need food, when I don't need food, what I fancy, to let myself have treats, whether they're healthy treats or not healthy treats. You know, I have spent a lot of years, and I think a lot of women out there, especially women, yeah, have spent many years feeling very deprived, trying to restrict themselves. And I think if you turn that restriction around into education, if you educate yourself around nutrition and around your body, really take the time to see what foods make you thrive, to see what foods don't make you feel that good, to see how they affect your body, and sort of begin to just enjoy being around food, enjoy eating the foods that are good for you, enjoy eating the foods that make you feel good, and yeah, don't make too big a deal of it. I mean, this is just my opinion, but this is where I have come to with it. I feel like I've just spent enough